We're tasked to write a method called removeMin, and it accepts a stack of integers as its parameter. It's going to remove the smallest value from our stack, and it's going to return that. That's why we have a static int. Into the return type, we are going to have the minimum value be originally set to. It's going to be initialized to the first value, or the top value in our stack. We're then going to want to return this minimum value. The thought process here is we're going to run through all of this. We are going to see which is the minimum value. We can't just remove it because we want to remove all instances of it. So we have to find which is the minimum. Then after that, we can go through it again and take out any values that are recurring minimum. So to start with this, let's run through our entire stack and put it into our queue that we can use as an auxiliary storage. We're going to want to run this while our stack is not empty. This check is going to be for our minimum value. If our peak, which is the current value we're going to be looking at, is less than our minimum value, then our minimum value is now equal to s.peak. Afterwards, we are just going to want to add this and everything into our queue. So we'll do queue.add s.pop. So that we can move on to the next stack value. That's going to be it for this statement. Now is where we're going to run through and remove all of the smallest values. We can move all of these values back into our stack. So we're going to have a while our queue is not empty. And it's going to be a similar thought process. If our minimum value is equal to queue.peak, so if the minimum value is equal to the current queue value that we're looking at, we are going to just do a queue.remove, and if it's not equal to the minimum value, so that means it's greater than it, we're just going to put it back into the stack. So we'll do s.push, where we pass in our queue.remove because we want to take it out anyways. And that's going to be it for that while loop. We need to now reorder this. So when we do this first queue.add, we're adding into our queue with this being at the front. And then when we do this s.push, this 4 is going to be at the bottom. So now we need to move everything back into our queue, where this is the front, and then this will be moved back to the top when we move it back to our stack. So basically we're going to want to run this while our s is not empty, and we'll just do a queue.add where we s.pop from our stack. And then similarly, we're going to have a while loop once everything's in our queue, and we're just going to want to push everything back into our stack. And that's going to be it for our method. I think I already have this return min down here, so we can get rid of one of them. And that's going to run and pass 13 out of 13 tests. That's how I would look at this problem and how I would code for 14.19 removeMin.